Pepper says, are you ready to declutter another section in this hoarded basement? I know I am. It is that time of the week again. It is time to declutter another section in this hoarded basement. And last time we kind of made this corner where all the labeled bins live. And yes, this little area rug is from storage. And for now, we're going to put it here. Since our 2023 goal is to completely clear out the basement, I think it would be great for defining an area. And speaking of defining an area, I think for today, we're going to focus over here. We're going to start working towards the front of the basement. What's worked best for me in recovering in my hoarding disorder is decluttering it in small sections at a time. And we also have some boxes from storage that we can go through. Now, my goal for the basement in March is to start also opening up this side area against the wall. That way we can continuously place label bins over there and opening up the center of the basement. Another goal in March for the basement is that we're finally going to get this insulation fixed. I know it's not safe. I know that it's been like this for a while. So by making monthly goals, we're more successful in completing those tasks. Now, when I start decluttering in an area to avoid getting so overwhelmed by the amount of stuff there is, I start with the easiest thing that I can let go of. And of course, that's going to be with these 3 storage boxes that we pulled home. So the first thing we're letting go of is this gift bag because it has a little schmutz on it. There is some kind of funky thing on it, so we will let this go. And of course, there's some plastic and some old mailers that I never properly let go of that we are letting go of now. Now, this binder is actually in excellent condition, and it looked like it was one of my child's before, but they didn't even use it. So I'm going to put it in my back to school supply bin. That way we can shop our hoarded stash in the beginning of August. Now, this box right here has a lot of personal information in it, and it's from 2014. Now, I always used to hold on to every single piece of paper because there was this fear that I would need it one day, whether to prove that I paid a bill in case somebody challenged me on it, or I had to return something because it stopped working, or I had buyer's remorse. I gave it every reason under the sun to keep my nervous system calm. For me, the habit of saving since childhood was the way that I coped with my anxiety and my PTSD as I got older. This was how I self-regulated my body so that I could function throughout the day. And yes, paper is still a little self-soothing to me right now because this is from when I used to do mommy school with Brandon. I used to do that in the summertime, and that time spent together means so much to me. But the reason why I'm feeling the tug to hold on to it is because it's stemming from my PTSD of having 3 miscarriages. So by having those pieces of paper, it self-soothes that pain. But I've grown enough to know that that's only a band-aid to those emotions. I have to properly work through those emotions and release it. Holding the paper is not going to change that situation. By acknowledging that those feelings are real and working through them instead of suppressing them, whether you talk about it with a friend, a therapist, write it down, use healthier coping mechanisms to work through those emotions. Now, this drawer organizer is actually perfect for a butterfly if you follow Cass from Clutterbug, because it is clear drawers and I can label them, because for me as a butterfly, I gotta see everything and it's gotta be a 1, 2, 3 process. Open the drawer, drop the item, and then close it. And I think this would actually be perfect for when we get into our crafts. Now, on the floor is a little remnants of our Christmas kamari because I still have some of the pine needles on the floor. So we'll sweep that up. But speaking of leftover Christmas, yes, there's some Christmas items that did not get properly put away. Now, this is directly related to my ADHD. And with my ADHD, it is very hard for me to stay focused. My mind tends to jump around unless I am in hyper focus. And since we're almost 3 months past Christmas now, my attention span could not focus long enough to properly put it back. But you know what does keep me in hyperfocus? Creating videos each and every week. And that's why it's so much easier for me to complete the task and put the bin back into the Christmas cave. Now, moving on to the top of this box, there's a bunch of random things here. This is, again, another ADHD behavior because I didn't have official homes for these pieces, but they were keep pieces. So since I didn't know where to place them, they just kind of hung out here on top of the random box. That's why I've been making these labeled keep bins so that I can kind of funnel the items into their categories. And then later on, I can declutter what's in those bins even further. And what's in this random box in here? And oh, it is Christmas. And the reason why this got looked over from the Christmas Kamari series was because it was in a box unlabeled. I'm very visual. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. That's why it's important for me to either store things in a clear bin with a label or put it in the holiday themed color bin and label it. So anything that's out here that's Christmas that did not get put away, we're just going to put it into a bin. I'm not even going to process trying to declutter any of it because I know myself. It is post-Christmas. My ADHD is not going to allow me to focus long enough to let anything go, which is fine because we're decluttering other areas. As long as we're moving forward, I have to work with my habits and my brain, not against it. That's how I'll be successful in this process. That's why for my entire life, I failed at traditional decluttering and cleaning programs because it was based on logical steps and I was emotionally attached to everything. So I was working against my emotions and my brain. It wasn't until I started addressing the emotions and taking those action steps first, like accepting that I have hoarding disorder and that it's okay because it is a mental disorder, that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not some kind of low-level human because I have a hard time discarding stuff. People in society just didn't understand the disorder because we never talked about it. And that's why I'm giving a voice as to why we hold on to everything, because it opens up the doors for them to be compassionate and empathetic. And that's exactly what all of you who don't have hoarding disorder have done. And since you guys have given us such love, we can now open up and give ourselves that grace and give ourselves that love and compassion. It's okay that we have a mental disorder. There's nothing wrong with us. And now that we can recognize it, we can start to take those steps forward in healing and recovering. And once you start to process those emotions, it becomes so much easier to let go of the stuff. Things I used to have a strong hold on, now I feel nothing and I can finally logically let things go. So now we kind of went through everything that was loose because these bins are actually organized and labeled. So I'm going to pull them out so that I can visually see them and not forget about it. Now, I'm hoping as we keep decluttering, I find the lid to this pink tub because I haven't found it at the moment. And with that, we have another section of this basement decluttered and cleaned up. And me and Miss Pepper are so incredibly proud to show you our tossy pile for today. It is a lot of paper and cardboard boxes. But at one point, I was emotionally attached to these items because they gave me a sense of security. And by processing those emotions and releasing that fear, I could finally logically look at all this. And of course, we're going to recycle it as best as we can because that is very important to my heart. And with that, me and Miss Pepper are so happy to show you the newly opened up space in the basement. We go at a pace that feels comfortable to us. We want this to be a positive experience because we are reconditioning our nervous system to recognize that I am still safe if I declutter. And if we continuously chop away at the basement, I have no doubt that we'll be able to clean it out in 2023. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to declutter and clean something in your home today too.